when I do these, I usually read one of my stories. I have 4 in here, and one, and I tend to pick something different for each time I do this, by another writer in the book. And I thought tonight I would read a story called Shopping for Birds by a writer at West Virginia University named Douglas Campbell. And let me find Doug's story very quickly here in the contents. 166.
Is he a student or a teacher?
He works in their library system.
Oh,
I think he's a resource professional, I think. Great guy. And one of those quality short fiction writers, we hope that I think we have become a bit of a magnet for emerging writers who I think are saying, write something good, we're going to give it a chance. We don't really care what your bio says. It's nice if you've had 40 short stories published, that's nice, but if it's not a good short story, you could be T.C. Boyle and we're not actually going to take it. Chances are it is a good short story if that's the case, but it's about the story. And Doug is one of countless people who publish short stories, but his day job is in the West Virginia University library system. He's very good at that and very good at writing short stories. Yeah. So this story is called Shopping for Birds. When Barry pulled the kitchen curtains open to check the bird feeders, the house finches were in an uproar, 20 or 30 of them at least, battling over the 8 available perches on the 2 tube feeders or a momentary place on the thistle sock. The birds who were shut out lined both arms of the feeder pole, bobbing and fluttering as they waited for their chance, while others circled and hovered, searching for an opening. The bullies in the crowd used harsher methods and simply landed on top of a rival, flapping and thrashing, taking the perch by force. Meanwhile, the blue jays, starlings, and mockingbirds waged a constant, swooping, slashing struggle for ownership of the seed block hanging from the other side, the other arm of the feeder pole. "Wow, check it out," Barry said, a feeding frenzy. Myra glanced out the window on her way to the coffee maker. "How cute," she said. "Cute? I'm not sure that's quite the right word. More like brutal, wouldn't you say? It's bird eat bird out there." "Well, whatever." Myra sat at the kitchen table with her coffee. "Why don't we see if we can attract some rare birds?" she said. "I'm not sure there are any rare birds around here," Barry said, still watching out the window as a gang of sparrows tried to muscle in on the finches. "Bluebirds, maybe." "Well, some more colorful birds then. The finches and sparrows are drab little things." Barry went to the coffee maker and poured himself a cup. "We get blue jays and cardinals," he said. "Goldfinches, red-bellied, red-headed, and downy woodpeckers. They're pretty darn colorful." "Well, all right then. Some different birds. How about that? We see the same birds all the time." "Because those are the birds that live around here." "Barry, there must be more kinds of birds around here than the ones we see every day. Where's the bird book?" "On the coffee table." Myra stood up and headed for the living room with a theatrical sigh. Barry looked up at the ceiling and shook his head, amazed by how quickly their Saturday morning had gone off the rails. And how? Why? They'd simply been talking about the birds, for God's sake. Now the weekend would be a salvage project. "Want a bagel?" Barry asked, when Myra returned from the living room and sat down again, bird book in hand. Myra leaned sideways to look around him at the stove clock. "I guess so. I really do need to get going, though." "Where are you going?" "I'm meeting Sally at the mall." "I told you last night. I need shoes for work." "That's right." Myra flipped through the bird book while Barry split the bagels. Myra liked hers just lightly toasted. He liked his good and crispy. I should do them separately, he thought. But I need to get going too. A full weekend of work lay ahead of him. painting the window trim on the south side of the house. He put both bagels in the toaster oven and set the dial at what he hoped would be a compromise. Since they were both in a hurry, he could eat his bagel a little lighter, and Myra could eat hers a little crispier. "Ooh, listen to this, Barry," Myra said. "Male painted buntings are the most spectacularly colored of all North American songbirds, with a gaudy combination of red, blue, and green feathers. Wow, I want to see one of those. Look at this picture." Myra held up the bird book, and Barry leaned toward her and peered at it. "Fabulous bird, absolutely," Barry said. "But they don't live in our part of the world. Check the range map." "Oops, sorry, you're right." She went back to the book, pausing here and there, then flipping on. It struck Barry that he'd watched her flip through L.L. Bean and Victoria's Secret catalogs in just that manner, dozens of times. No doubt about it, God Almighty, she was shopping for birds.